Hi, my name is Talia Radals, and today I'll be talking about gender inequality in sport. In 2024, UNESCO released a major report showing that women and girls' access to sport is lagging far behind. They found that only about 30% of leadership positions in major sport federations are held by women, and that nearly half of girls drop out of sport during adolescence, 6 times the rate of boys. To respond, UNESCO held a global conference on July 24th, 2024, where leaders launched their game plan for gender equality in sport. This focused on fair media coverage, better leadership opportunities, and safer environments. Gender inequality in sport shows up in several ways. Girls face fewer opportunities and resources. Women athletes are underfunded and underrepresented. Leadership roles remain dominated by men, and many more. At the same time, some argue that women's sports just aren't as popular because women don't love sport as much as men, and audience sizes seem to support that. But I believe that difference is socially produced. From a young age, girls are steered away from sport through less media coverage, fewer programs, or subtle messages from coaches and peers. Over time, this creates what looks like a lack of interest, but it's really the result of learned norms and internalized messages. Society teaches girls that sport isn't for them, and that idea repeats across generations. I chose this issue because it's personal. Growing up, I didn't stick with sport because it wasn't fun or supportive. Now, as an adult, I've discovered a passion for it, and I think how many girls like me missed out because they didn't feel encouraged. Yes, men's sports do have bigger audiences, and it's not men's fault that they've been more invested in sports historically, but this difference is rooted in decades of structural inequality. Men's leagues have had decades more funding, marketing, and television coverage, while women's leagues were historically underfunded, sidelined, or even banned in some cases. That's why people frame women's sports as less profitable, not because athletes lack talent, but because investment hasn't matched. This creates a cycle: less investment, fewer fans, less coverage, and back again. If we shift marketing and coverage and show women's sports as competitive and exciting, we can grow new audiences. Instead of pitying women's leagues, we need to treat them like sport: equal, professional, and worth supporting. This connects directly to the article by Skill and Austeris. What does sport mean to you? Fun and other preferences for adolescents, sport participation. They found that adolescents care most about fun and inclusion, not just competition. But if girls feel excluded, sport isn't fun. It feels like it doesn't belong to them. That was my experience too, and it matches UNESCO's data. Nearly half of girls leave sport in adolescence. It's not because they naturally dislike sport, it's because of the environments and expectations around them. If schools, coaches, and media made sport truly inclusive for girls, starting young, more would stay. That would mean more athletes, more fans, and more equality at every level. In a perfect world, of course. To sum up, yes, women's sports are less popular today, and men's sports have much larger audiences, but that doesn't mean it has to stay that way. UNESCO's July 2024 conference and their game plans sound promising, but the question is, will these policies actually be implemented, or are they just symbolic? Skille and Austeris remind us that enjoyment and inclusion matter most. If UNESCO's policies are put into practice, not just written on a paper, they could help change the cycle. Sport has the power to empower, but only if promises turn into action and if women and girls are genuinely given a chance to love it.